All right. Hey, Kalamazoo with listeners. You can find this podcast on our YouTube page, or you can find links for that on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Today, we have a very special guest from the Bad Boyz. We have David Ayres. Ayres, how you doing today, man?
Good. How you doing?
We're doing all right here. So, a little background in the Bad Boyz team and what they did last year. It was their inaugural season. They went 16-7 with some very high expectations. They finished third place in the competitive division. And then they also had a very surprising out in the playoffs, which we'll talk about a little bit later. David, give me kind of a recap on the season. Where did you guys fall to where you wanted to, and what could you have improved on?
Yeah, we went in not really having a lot of expectations. We figured we'd be good, with what we had. But we knew we had some players, especially on the pitching side, that we were going to get thrown into the fire, and it'd be the first time really stepping up pitching, and we didn't know how that would go. And I think all things considered, it went really well. Lance had pitched before. He had played with the Diablos before, so he had spent some time pitching, but he became, and we knew it going in that he was going to be one of our main guys. And so he really improved as the season went on. And then, of course, Sawyer being his first year in our league. I know he had played in a league that he started up in Grand Rapids where he's from, but again, it was learning how to pitch our style and stuff. And, they all did really well, and especially with Grant having his shoulder issue where he couldn't pitch. I only think he threw a couple innings. And so we really relied heavily on those other guys and just treated the regular season as just getting prepared for the playoffs, getting them all, experienced and getting ready to go for the playoffs where we could try to make our push. And unfortunately that ended a little earlier, but it was a great series. But like you said, we can talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys had a great core between you and Grant and Lance. Who else was on the team that really stepped up this year for you guys and helped contribute to the cause?
Grant, myself, Lance, and Sawyer were our main big four, and then Artum, who had played, he's a buddy of Grant's from college baseball days, and he had played a couple years before with that when they were a team, and he kind of got his feet wet playing that, but then he joined us, and so when he was able to show up, I mean, he's one we'd like to see pitch a little more because he can throw absolute gas. He's just got to get that experience, but he's a very good hitter. And then we added a few others, would come in and supplement when we need to. But us five were the main five that played all year.
Definitely. And it looks like we got Lance on. Lance, if you could turn on your microphone and your camera, we could get you involved in this here. But so other than that, who was the guy this year that stepped up the most, whether it was hitting or pitching for you, Dave? Who was that guy this year?
That'd be Lance, 100%. Him and Grant were the only ones that were able to make every game. So Lance pitched a lot, and like I said, you could just see the amount of strides that he'd made throughout the season and how much better he got just from getting that experience on the mound. It was really fun to watch.
Definitely.
Well,
Lance, way to
how are you, boys?
Buddy? Were you able to get everything in all right?
Yeah, just got out of flag football, trying to stay in a little bit of shape for football season.
There you
go. Definitely. So we're kind of talk about a little bit the season. David's throwing some high praise out for you. What was your takeaway from the year this year? How would you describe your performance and your team's performance this year?
Honestly, it was really awesome that Ayres and Grant took a leap of faith in me and kind of just let me have it. They saw something that I don't think somebody else did, and they just kind of were faithful in me and let me figure it out on my own. And I think I was pretty dang successful for, previous seasons, previous innings pitched, my previous stat line. But it was kind of awesome to have them behind me saying, yeah, dude, you can do this. You are good. they're just encouraging me. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah. No, we all knew as a league that you were right there. You were poised for a breakout season, and this was the year to finally do it. And I think a lot of it had to do with the experience that David and Grant both have with their wiffle ball experience as well as their baseball experience. How did that translate into you really breaking out of your shell this year and posting the numbers that you did?
I mean, it's just, for me, it was just repetition. I mean, you're not going to make the big play if you don't play. You're never going to be confident in yourself if you don't play. And not that I didn't play previously, but I definitely played 10 folds more this year than I did last.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it was fun to watch you guys play. That's for sure. I didn't get out as much as I wanted to see you guys play, but the highlight videos, what you guys put up was amazing. So Ayres, what was this season? What was your guys' strong suit? I mean, obviously everybody knows Grant can just absolutely mash the ball. You can pitch. What did you guys lean on day in and day out to help you get to that 16-7 record this year and to make playoffs?
I mean, I think it was a combination of both. Like when we needed to hit, we found a way to hit as a team. Obviously, Grant, like you said, Grant's always going to get his. But when there were times where maybe teams might just be pitching around him, so to speak, whether they actually did, but like he wasn't seeing good pitches to hit, like other guys stepped up to fill in that void. And then if we were struggling to hit, like we had our pitching and our defense stepped up and was able to coincide that. Like I know one example was when we played the Legends, and prior to last year, I had never beaten Hogan head to head. And it took us, I don't even remember final score, but I know we had 2 grand slams against him, which is unheard of. But our offense stepped up and got us the runs, and I was able to get over that hump and finally get that victory over him, which was huge, And there were other times, I know there were a couple times we won 1-0 ball games. Like it was a pitcher's duel. Our pitcher stepped up, and it was timely with everything. There wasn't really one area that stuck out in my mind.
Right. Who had those 2 grand slams against Hogan?
I had one somehow, and Grant had one.
Grant had one. So, walk me through that at bat.
My at bat, I was just trying to put the bat on the ball. Like he was, and we joke about it all the time. Like he was that like one pitcher, like top tier pitcher in this league that I had never taken deep. And I was like, someday I'm going to get you, someday I'm going to get you. And he'd always joke. He's like, he'd joke like he'd give me like one fastball a game, and I'd miss it. And he goes, you're not getting another one. And actually, the ball I took out wasn't even a fastball, but it was just he had been throwing the same pitch as kind of like his slider, slurve, whatever you want to call it, that hard breaking thing. And
that hammer curve that he has.
Yeah, and he just, because he knows I can't hit it, and I finally just was like, I don't know, I just tell myself, like, get your bat on the ball, and I was able to throw the bat out there and get it, and it just went. So
that's awesome. I believe it was a full count too.
It might have been. I had 2 strikes. I know I had 2 strikes on me. I don't know if it was a full count, but I know there were 2 strikes on me.
Every hitter's biggest dream: 3-2, 2 outs, bases loaded, let her rip. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's one pitcher I've yet to get one off. Like you said, we always joke about it too, and he's just so good. So do you think, Lance, I'll let you answer this one first. Who is the toughest pitcher to hit against in this league? Whether it's either division, who do you struggle with the most?
Me, I'd have to say there's 2 for me, and it's Hogan and Thompson, hands down.
Yeah,
I've hit Hogan before, and I'm seeing it better, but there's zero confidence for me up at the plate against either of those 2.
Yeah, no, that's a league-wide answer, but it's always fun to every once in a while get a different name thrown in there. So, Ayres, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's so many good pitchers. Obviously Hogan's one of them, but for me personally, I struggle so much to hit against Lance's brother Kyle. Just his motion, he's got that herky-jerky motion. I can't get comfortable in the plate, and it's like, I never hit him well. Like he frustrates me to no end just because I cannot get a beat on what he's throwing.
Yes, I completely agree with that, and he hides that ball so well
Yes.
from his kneecap up to his mid body, and then he releases it with that jump at you, and you cannot pick it up.
Yeah, it's
So,
tough.
yep. What about teams to pitch against? I mean, you guys were the top. I would say you guys were top 10 pitchers all year long, both of you. David, who did you struggle the most pitching against this year? Especially that you didn't have to face Grant. That's probably a big relief
Yeah,
for you.
I mean, and it's not even this year. It's pretty much every year. I hate it, but I love it at the same time. The legends are so hard to pitch to because
Yes.
you don't get a break. Like, but I at the same time I love it because I have to really focus on every single pitch, and I can't make a mistake because they're gonna pay. And like Marcus Cole, just absolutely, I did better against him this year, but historically he just wears me out. Like there's
Hmm.
nothing I can do to get him out. Like he hits everything I throw. But yeah, they would definitely be the toughest. Like as a whole team wise, just because you can't take a break. And like I said, if you make a mistake, they're gonna make you pay.
Exactly. Lance, what about you? Toughest team to pitch against, and why is it the Michigan Wolverines football team?
I would have to say, again, I sound like a broken record here, but I have to say, for me, either Diablos or the Legends, just because
Mhm.
I've had so many practice days with the Diablos. They've all seen my stuff. They all
Yep.
know what I'm going to do. And it's just, again, repetitions with them. But the Legends, it's like, there's no greater feeling than throwing good against them, but there's no worse feeling than getting smashed by them because they're just so good top to bottom.
Yeah, I agree. So how did you pitch against the Diablos this year?
I did. And yeah, I did.
How did you what adjustments did you make knowing going into that they've seen your pitches, they know how you throw? Did you make adjustments for that to try to best them?
I did and I didn't, but I believe, I'd have to look, but I believe I threw very well that game. I limited my walks, and I knew that's what I had to do because they go up there looking for walks. Nate's great at getting on base, and
Yes.
so I knew I had to throw strikes. Just throw strikes right off the rip, and whatever happens after that happens. I think I threw a lot more sliders, and that's when I got really comfortable with it. And from then on, just kept it going.
That's awesome. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to face you guys this year, but I remember when we faced you when I was with the Kakambas, and you were tough. I mean, we faced both you and Kyle, and those were some of the toughest at bats I've had. I can't imagine what a slider is going to do for you next year with the confidence and everything. So I'm very excited to see where that's going to go. So Ayres, let me ask you this: next year, what are you guys? Obviously, you're making the playoffs is your number one goal. What else are your goals? A team to beat, something making a big splash in free agency. What's your goal for next year?
For me, for me personally, I'm just looking forward to having the first healthy year in like 2 years. I think everybody knows what I went through, and there's
Yep.
really don't need to get into that right now. There's a whole podcast about that if anybody wants to check that out. But like
Phenomenal
it literally
podcast.
has been 2 years since I've been healthy. So yeah, so I'm just looking forward to having a healthy year and not have my body in pain. As far as team wise, like obviously we think we're one of the best teams. Like we should be able to get to that championship and at least get out of the first round this year. So everybody learned from last year, and that's our goal for sure.
That's awesome. Lance, what about you? Team to beat this year? Personal goal? Team goal? What do you got?
A team goal would be to have a healthy Ayres back is huge for us.
Mhm.
Not that, I mean, to me, he didn't miss a beat, but I've also haven't played much with Ayres. And I mean, he's good. I mean, the dude is good, and you know what you're going to get every time from Ayres. So I'm excited to see, I mean, that extra 10, 15% that we're going to see this year. I'm very excited to see that. And I mean, a healthy Grant arm. I mean, if we have a healthy Grant arm and a healthy Ayres, watch out, I think.
No, there's not a better 1-2-3 pitching combination. If you guys are all healthy, yeah, there's not. That's going to be incredible to watch that.
To our horn or anything, but we haven't had that, and for me, that would be cool to play with. A healthy Grant arm would be huge to come close down these games or switch it up or whatever.
Yeah.
Team goal, I mean, obviously I want to win the championship, but we got to get there first.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
Play smart wiffle ball. Don't do nothing over our heads, and I think we're going to be very competitive with whoever we play.
Yeah. So to kind of go off the championship thing, let's kind of dive in. What happened in the playoffs, Lance? You know, it was a very quick and sudden exit. Not trying to bring up old wounds, but you know what exactly happened? You guys were heavy favorites. I would have bet on you guys if we have betting services for the Kalamazoo Wiffle League. Walk me through it here.
Yeah, the odds definitely were negative for us, I would say. But obviously, nobody won any money on that. We played the Chuckers, and I mean, we played 2 great games of wiffle ball.
Mm-hmm.
Ayres, did you throw game 1?
I came in relief, technically. Sawyer started faced like 3 pitchers, I think. And then Grant also threw me in there.
Now it's refreshing my memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had pitching issues off the start of game 1, and I think we were down a couple runs in the first inning.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I think Sawyer gave up 1.
One.
Then I came in with bases loaded, and I ended up walking Miles in with. He was my first pitcher or first batter I faced. I walked him, so gave up, and I think so gave 2, and then I got out of the inning, and then we tied it back up, and I think we went into extra innings. Then it was me and Tate the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'll let you finish.
Game 1 was, I mean, kind of our bad. Just in a coaching, not a coaching wise, but player management wise, I think. And I think we lost that game on a walk-off.
Yep.
Then
okay.
Game 2, we went into extras. I threw 6 innings one night, and me and Chef went at it. I had 0 hits through 6. We couldn't scrape a run across. We came back the next day. I threw another inning and 2/3, and my arm was done. Absolutely done. Couldn't go anymore. And then, unfortunately, Grant came in, and they hit another walk-off on us to take the series.
Oh.
And so it was a heartbreaker, but to me that was more motivating than ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Redeem
that's
that.
the only way you can take it.
Obviously, we were on the wrong side, but it was a great series. I mean, like that first game, like me and Tate have done, I don't even countless times before, pitchers duel, and like Travis Branch has done times before. He finds a way at the most crucial time that he might be 0 for 18, but he's gonna have that final hit, you know. And he caught me and put it out, and that took that game. And then that second game, like Lance said, we went to darkness in that second game, and it was a 0-0 ball game. And then we came back and we got on Shefford, got some runs, but to their credit, they came right back and, you know, tied it up again. And then a couple innings later, I caught Shefford for one, took him deep, and thought we were going to be in good shape. And they came back, and, you know, to their credit, they never quit. I mean, that's the tough thing about the Chuckers. Shefford and Tate are top-notch pitchers. We all know that.
Yep.
And they're able to hang in there, and they come up with the big hits when they need them. So
they really do, and it'll be great motivation. I can't wait to see what you guys do this year. Healthy Ayres, get Grant healthy. Lance continues to just dominate and mash. It's gonna be fun to see.
Yeah, and the dark horse is Sawyer. And all that.
Like, yeah, he's the young gun, right?
Yes, yeah. I think he might be 17 right now.
And he throws just straight cheddar.
He's got some crazy pitches. If he can get them dialed in to where he can consistently throw strikes, like he's got just this nasty, like 12-6 curve drop ball that if he can control it, it's unhittable.
Okay.
So
Nice. I can't wait to
he's
watch
just
that.
he's
See some
learning. Yeah,
highlights.
he's learning every day, and he's a very good hitter. He came up with a lot of clutch hits this year for us. So
Sawyer
Yep.
absolutely smashes. With playing the different leagues, I think he sees our pitching very well. And
Mhm.
you wouldn't think it looking at his stature, but man, he can swing a bat, and I don't think we haven't seen the full potential out of Sawyer, not even close yet,
yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah,
And
that's something this
our
league doesn't need.
our Tomb's another one. Like he struggles to make games sometimes because of his job. So it's hard for him to get in a rhythm. But if he can get into a rhythm, like he'd be very good too. And then I know we haven't mentioned it. Like there's another player. This will be his first year joining us. He played baseball at Western with Grant, so he's one of Grant's buddies. So
Okay.
I guess he's all about it. His name's Bo Filkins, I think is what his last name is. So
That's a name that was born to play baseball.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
no kidding.
we'll it'll be interesting to see how quickly he picks it up, being a Division I baseball player and everything.
Yeah. Any other additions to Bad Boys to look out for this year?
Nope, that's our core. That's our core right there. Obviously, if as we all know, life happens. If we need to get subs, and we'll find people. But yeah, that's our core coming into the season. So.
That core sounds like you guys could go down as one of the greatest KWL teams next year, and I am gonna tune into every single game and make as many of them as I can to watch this, because this is gonna be a fun year. So, Lance, gotta ask you, who's better, you or Kyle?
The hard questions, huh?
Yep. Who's,
All around pitching.
be
hitting.
honest. We're all about honesty here.
I mean, in all honesty, I'll say myself, and I think I proved that last year.
Love it. Yes.
Love you, Kyle, but
and then he freezes.
He freezes. Yep. What about you, David? What do you think? I'll throw you in on this mix.
I think so. Being 100% completely honest, Kyle's the better hitter right now, but I think Lance has the edge on pitching.
Nice. That's gonna be a fun one to watch next year. Let's watch those two. Can't wait for that. What about any other rumors for the Bad Boys this year?
New Jersey.
No, we're getting new jerseys, so we won't have the generic KWL jersey, but
no,
we'll
what kind of logo are we? What kind of logo or colors are we looking at?
So the logo, Mason Everett designed the logo for us. It's kind of a play off the old Pistons Bad Boy logo.
Love it.
So it looks pretty sweet, and yeah, that's all I'll say right now.
Okay, I like it. Any other closing remarks or anything else that we need to be filled in on for the Bad Boys for this upcoming KWL season?
I don't think so. I'm excited to get out and play again. So
definitely, I'm excited to see a healthy Ayres. Lance, what about you?
If we have a healthy Grant, watch out. That's all I got to say.
I love it. I can't wait for Grant to watch this. And we tried to get him on the call today, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. He's got parent duties to take care of. So hopefully that doesn't affect him too much this year, and he can get out there and show the league what he's all about.
Yeah, he's just good for the league. Good to be around. Good to play. And
yep, he's one of those true genuine guys, just like you too. So it's fun. I'm glad we got you guys on this podcast. So David, Lance, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for joining me, Lance. Glad you got on at the very last second.
Sorry about that.
Good to see your face. It's all good, man. We all have stuff we got to do. So thanks again, guys. I appreciate it. KWL listeners, give us a follow on our social media and watch this on YouTube. You guys have a great night, and we will see you hopefully in about a month for some spring training.
All right, man. See ya. Thanks.
All righty. Have a good one, guys.